different.
And not just that, but if you think about financially, just like, I mean, I grew up in the 70s and 80s, in Dix Hills. That's kind of my formative years. And if you look at how much, like, just the properties have gone up. And, I mean, even just, you're going to laugh, but even just St. Anthony's as a school, it used to be this one yellow kind of brick building. It is a monster. And now people are moving to South Huntington in that area so that their kids go to that. It just brought up the whole value of South Huntington. When I was growing up, it was always, half Hollow Hills, half Hollow Hills, half Hollow. And you'd hear, oh, South Huntington, yeah. No, now it's amazing. It's unbelievable the changes just that I've witnessed in seeing from the 70s, the 80s, the 90s. I mean, it's just gotten nuts.
I think you bring up a really good point. I think the school districts in Long Island, I mean, they attract talent from all across the country. People want to have their kids grow up here. It's frankly a wonderful place to grow up, and the more you experience it, the more you get out there and really see what's there, learn about your community, and learn about different towns and explore it outside of your immediate bubble. Learning it, and I love your point about the education, how it's impacted the local real estate.
It's unbelievable,
huge,
absolutely,
in a big way.
Yeah, even just the private schools in and of itself has kind of, I mean, we had one purchaser that was looking because they had to be a certain amount of mileage from Chaminade. And then they bought the house, realized, oh no, the bus route took it over that 2-mile mark or whatever it was, and they had to renovate and sell the house and move to a different house. So, I mean, schools really kind of drive where people live, but then also, on the other hand, there's also the commute, people are big-time commuters.
Especially a lot of people work in the city, and that's, the commute's extremely important.
Yeah.
What's interesting to hear, and I've been asking a lot of our own readers this as well, is to hear how the Grand Central, the new terminal there for Long Island and the LIRR,
game changer.
It has. Anyone who's working on the east side, either by the Grand Central corridor up in 40s or even downtown, to have another option to go there directly. You're talking about neighborhoods that initially may have been too far away because their commute would be too long, is now value. I mean, home values is skyrocketing there as well.
And not just that, but like I can think when I was young and we were first shopping for a house, my ex-husband and I, it was, well, I work on the east side, so we really need to live in Westchester. And we lived in Scarsdale because his commute, being a money guy, being a CFO, he was like, I got to get into the city at X time, so I can't be dilly-dallying from Long Island. So we had to move away from Long Island to be closer to his commute. So now it's like, it opened up a whole new world for everybody. Yeah. So it's very interesting because a lot of, children, when they grow up and they get married, they say, well, where am I going to live? Who am I want to live near family, but my job is here or there. And now that doesn't even come up.
But now the whole commute thing's, it's slowly going to change. I'm seeing now with the Long Island Railroad basically expanding a Yaphank.
Yeah, that's also another
that's
really interesting
create
piece.
A whole other change.
Absolutely.
Because you're not going to have to, you don't have to drive. You can just get on the train. I think it's going to push people further east.
Oh, definitely.
Now all of a sudden it becomes more of a realistic option.
But you have to also remember, there's also people that are only in certain price points. And those price points are getting less and less.
Well, I think the goal,
everything is shifting and getting higher and worth.
The postcode keeps shifting.
Yeah, because once there's a commute there, that's it. Now you can go there. I mean, we have a listing in Wading River. It is so cute. It is 3 doors down from the beach. And it's got this roaring fireplace made from rocks from the Long Island Sound. And we have people that are coming out from literally Brooklyn. I cannot tell you how many people are coming out from Brooklyn. And they're all like, well, if I don't drive, how am I going to get here? And we talked to them about, well, right now you can take the train to Ronkonkoma
or to Port Jefferson,
which is even closer, and it's going to take you from here to here. And then, we're telling them, well, you know what? The trains are moving out. I know. We're looking forward to that.
It's amazing.
So it's just going to skyrocket all these values of things that are now affordable, but you're going to say, oh, in hindsight, I wish I had the 2020 that I have now and bought back then. So
that's absolutely
fascinating.
Absolutely, 100%.
Well, you're a big data guy and digital, and you're, by the way, Nick's background before he started 516 Updates, I mean, you've been in real estate, private equity, like you really know this stuff. Like, I gotta imagine, what's your take on all that?
It's funny you mentioned that, and as you mentioned my background, I've been in real estate private equity for the better part of the last 10 to 15 years. And so, as I look at any market, Long Island included, I think you kind of nailed it, right? You think about the transit centers and how those hubs, especially in and around the train station, it opens up access, because now it comes down to your commute, where your job is, and how quickly I can make it to the office.
Right.
Especially because the work from home that we had during COVID is slowly but surely, the return to office is real.
Yeah, they've been pushing it. So
and look, a lot of the big companies are sort of mandating it, and frankly, the ones that aren't. And I think if you study the Manhattan office market, for example, the smaller companies, the small accounting firms or finance firms, they're more flexible, but they don't require you to be in the office anyway. And so from that perspective, you can be remote anywhere. But if you're in a big office in the city and you have to be there, to your point, how do you get there? How do you get to the office? And I think having that train in the morning and that access, if you can have a vision and go and invest or buy before the train is built, you're going to catch that wave and that rise in the in value for sure.
And you know what's really interesting? If you look out east, when I was growing up, it was the closer you lived to the train, you didn't want it because it was loud, this and that. Now, they're building entire communities with restaurants and shopping and mixed use that are
Have you seen Ronkonkoma? What they did with the Ronkonkoma station?
I have. It's incredible.
Isn't it something? You feel like you're in the city.
It's like its own little universe.
What they're trying to do, and I think you see it even in the malls as well. It's that experiential, right? Everything's becoming. If I'm leaving the house, it's an experience to go out. It's to go to restaurants or to bars or to really go where the action is. I mean, back in the day, I think if you go back even 20 years ago, the big box stores would brought you to the mall to go shopping, and now it's the restaurants, it's the engagements, it's the community, and it kind of goes back to the ethos of why again we started 516.
Yeah, which I was going to say that's exactly why I love your newsletter, because that's what you guys cover. Like that's the stuff that I think the big news, whatever the big corporations they miss.
Yeah, they miss it.
They miss because they're focused either on what's happening in the political world today or international news, other things. But you guys are really honing in.
But
on
the
what's
benefit
happening.
is that they're able to do that. I think when you get too corporate and things get too big, that's it. It's like the end of the goodness.
Well, that's why you have. I mean, come on, you're seeing it. There's a rise of independent media.
Yeah.
And I think it's becoming more important, and it's becoming more go-to. Like the public. I mean, you see it. I'm sure you're seeing it in your subscription. We're seeing it in our subscribers. People have a hunger for that.
They do.
They want to get away from the corporate.
They want the authenticity.
Yeah.
And it's simple. When you give people news without the opinion of a political bias at all, and you tell them this is just what's happening, and this is what's happening in your backyard, in your county. And when I talk about their neighbors or a local business, whenever I cover any local business, be it a realtor or a restaurant or anything we cover, we always try and talk about the people first. We always start with what's their background, what's their family, how have they gotten, what drives them to do what they do every day before we cover what they're excited about in their local business.
Exactly.
It's a story, and then when people click on it, first of all, they want to share with all their friends, but secondly, it becomes everyone who walks in there already seems to know a little more about their local baker or their local restaurateur, and they kind of feel closer to them that way.
They do, and you know what? That's that personal touch. It's almost like when you go to a restaurant and they cook without love. You can taste the difference when they cook with love, You're
definitely a foodie. Making a comment like that.
I know, but it's so true if you think about it. It's the same, you know what I mean? It's like you can tell. Because, it's funny, we went to a restaurant out east, and I won't name it, but it used to be under a semi-large franchise of like 6-7 restaurants.
Oh, God, I know where
and we went, and it had sold. And I was like, we look, and the outside, the exterior of the building looks different. And I was like, Jesse, what's up? And we go in, we sit at the bar. It was, supposed to be Taco Tuesday, which we used to love to go. And we said, oh, the name changed. And the bartender was like, yeah, so-and-so bought it from so-and-so. And, we just wanted to kind of make it more special and this and that. Oh my God.
What a shame.
What a shame. It was the last time we ever went. My order didn't come out the way it was supposed to. It had no love whatsoever. It was like dead on arrival. And then when the bartender said, how is it? I said, it's not the same it used to be. I think he rolled his eyes and like was so like mean. And didn't say, oh my God, we'll take it off the check. No.
Well, no, it's not even that. He didn't take the opportunity to get feedback to see how they can improve.
He didn't care. He was like angry. And I was like, ew, I don't like, I'm out of the house. I'm on a date. I'm with my hot husband. We're like on the town. Like you said, I want a good experience. It's all about experience.
Absolutely.
And we had a wretched experience. We will never go back there. And we used to tell everyone, oh my God, it's so great. Order this, order that, order this. It was like dead on arrival.
So let me ask, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, please.
I was just thinking, so, I mean, what were some of the pitfalls you guys had at first trying to launch this, or any,
Yeah, no.
'cause there's always some sort of struggle at first. Everyone's seeing the success of your story, but, as an entrepreneur, there's always...
There always are, right? And in the back, it could be small things from remembering to schedule. I mean, our newsletter goes out every day at 5 a.m. Wow. So we try and always start your day having your morning coffee and figuring out, what's happening next door to where I am. And we always start with news, and then even events in the evening after work. What can we do? So you can almost plan your day. That's what we try and do. But in the beginning, things weren't always scheduled at the right time, or what have you, or even curating news. We want to make sure we're covering the latest articles, the latest things that are happening, or even if something was announced even 6 months ago, maybe we missed, we'll cover it more in more detail.
Well, that's cool.
And so a lot of it's just curating and making sure we were on top of that. On top of that, it's also double checking addresses for events, and you can imagine when you have 300, 400, 500 events, spot checking the location. If there are nuances, we've expanded our offering as well to mention parking if we can, or we started doing small things like adding a link to where to watch a sport, like a Knick game or what have you. Or it's the NFL is always tough with if you're Nick, you're a Giant, Jet fan, Bills fan, whatever it is. Just knowing what channel to go watch on, or what subscribing service, or what have you. It's letting people know, all right, if you're going to go do this, make sure you have access to Peacock or Prime.
Right.
It's true.
And so it's small things. It's trying to be thoughtful about what are some things you're going to face when you try and do something or have something, and how do we make that just a little bit easier for everybody.
Yeah, they say the devil's in the details.
That's it.
Totally is.
So when you talk about what the pitfalls were, it was just thinking about the actual use case of our readers and what they go through. And it's small incremental improvements every single week. I always tell my team, I'm like, if we get 1% better every single day, by the end of the year, you're night and day different than where you were before.
It's true.